Okay. Hey guys, my name is Chanchal, and an IT professional from IT City, Bangalore. And I have spent around more than a decade, about 15 years into IT training, teaching subjects like Java, .NET, AWS Cloud Computing. And about 10 years of my life I spent while teaching corporates and different academic institution of repute in while working with a company like NIIT in Shanghai, China. And thereafter, I'm still giving the corporate trainings on Java, .NET, and different other aspects of the Java technologies to the corporate clients here in Bangalore and in most of the southern Indian region. So I'm here. Basically, this course is targeted to the people who are novice to the programming language, or probably they want to know what exactly the Java is. So, keeping that thing in mind, I have actually made it as lucid as possible and made it to something where I would be starting from the scratch. Let me tell you a little more additional about my profile there, what I'm doing right now. Apart from the Java, I'm doing the deployment on AWS cloud computing system, where I get a different project on Java and J2E based solution, and I deploy it to the cloud. Probably for some people it might not mean pretty well, because they are not very pretty conversant what exactly the cloud is. We would talk about the cloud as well, but that is a separate cloud class. Here we are going to start with the Java basics, the scratch of the Java, the very core concept of the Java that we are going to discuss here. Java is made of classes. What does the class means? Before that, we have to understand a little bit about the OOPS concept. The OOPS stands for Object Oriented Programming System. That means the OOPS, the language, the programming language that are based on OOPS, they take everything made of classes. The class of vehicle, the class of animal, the class of colors. So different classes and different objects. Java, being an OOPS language, defines everything as a class. And here in this PPT, we would define, coming directly to the programming aspect of the Java, we would see what exactly the class is. We define an arbitrary class called person. This person has two variable we also call as a member variable. One is of string type, another is of integer type. We have a method which is called as a void birthday. That means that this method will return nothing, void will nothing return nothing, and birthday is the name of the method. We got a age plus plus. That means that this variable age is post incremented. Remember, I am using a word post incremented. That means that increment after the execution of this particular line, post incremented. And thereafter I'm trying to print this age variable using the function which is defined as a println function in Java, using the system level variables called out, and which is present in the system class. So system.out.println is a method, is an expression which is used to print some line in Java, and it says that there is a class. Inside the class there is a variable. Inside the variable there is a function that has been defined, and this function is actually age. So this is an example of how the class is being defined in Java. When we talk about in terms of scoping, that means that the reachability of the effectiveness of a block of code in Java. So in any OOPS programming language, any object-oriented programming based language, we define that, okay, this is if I put a curly brace at the start and curly brace at the end, that means that this block of code is effective from the start of the curly brace to the end of the curly brace. So you can see when we say a scope, for example, when you do study some technical, you do a BTech, you do a MTech, or you do something which is your technical qualification. The first question your friends, your relatives, your parents ask you is that what is the scope of doing this course? Then you say, to be after doing the BTech, I would be an engineer. I can work on different companies as an engineer. So this is the scope. Now, somebody will ask you, can you become a lawyer after doing the BTech? Your answer will be straight. No, because lawyer is something which is a different stream. So here, the scope means that what is the effectiveness of this block. So here you can see when I say in text, the scope of this block starts at the curly brace and ends at the curly brace. So that is what the scoping is in Java as well as any OPS-based programming language, and not only OPS, it is in C as well. C is a modular-based programming language. It does not apply the concept of the OPS, but then C also takes the help of scoping. So where you can see this is uh, this two lines, these lines are available within these two curly braces. These this line, this line, though they are commented out, are available between this curly brace and this curly brace. Now my question is this line is also available between this curly brace and this curly brace? Yes, if something is being passed to it, then it is available. Otherwise, unless specified, this particular line is available within this curly brace and this curly brace only. So that is what the scope is. So look at this. When I create a scope, I'll show you an example of uh, scoping here, which is okay in C++, but not in Java. You declare an integer variable, which is 12, and here you can declare another variable, integer x. It is illegal. Why it is illegal? Because it has to be initialized within a block. This block is inside this block. You can declare a variable, but you cannot re-declare the same variable which is actually declared in the parent block. So it is illegal. You can write x is equal to 96 perfectly legal, because you cannot declare a same variable in a sub block which is already been defined in the super block. So this is the super block, this is sub block we are talking about. I hope the scoping is clear. Let me give you in very simple words what exactly the scoping is. When we write any programming in Java or any other programming language, the effectiveness or the validity of the code, the starting position to the ending position where it would be, is called as scope. The effectiveness, from where to where it is valid, from where to where it can be accessed, that is what is called as scope. Now we talk about another term which is called as array. When we talk about array, it is a collection of same type of elements. So when I say person Mary is equal to new person, and I say int my array is equal to new int 5, that means that I'm trying to make an array of integer type whose size is not defined. When we put this blank, that means the size is not defined because I'm declaring it. Now when we write new int 5, that I'm saying that, okay, for accommodating this array, please create an integer, 5 integer, 5 blocks for the integer. Again, same thing. Int my array is equal to 149. So here, what I'm doing, here I'm declaring it, and here I'm initializing it. I'm saying, okay, 5 integer values should be there in my array, and then I'm putting these 5 integers are 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. This is what we define an array in Java. Same thing, string languages, curly, this is blank spaces within the square bracket. That means that we are not defining any size of this array. And string is an array, definitely. String is an array. A very common question that is being asked in Java is that what is the difference between a string and character array? Is string is a character array? Of course, yes. A string is a special type of the character array. Then what is the difference between string and character array? And the difference is both have a series of characters, but string is terminated with the help of \0, whereas character array does not have \0. That is the difference. So when you say prolog \0, it is a string, and I just say prolog is a character array. So I'm not writing it in string, but when you try to fetch it, when you try something where you get this all string stored in an array, you will find, and \0 is automatically given by the system. So arrays are object. So Remember, string is a character array which is terminated by backslash 0. Since array are object, they are allocated dynamically. Arrays, like all objects, are subject to the garbage collection when no more reference remain. So here you can see what is a garbage collection, a new word in Java. So as you know, whenever we create an object in Java, this object reserves some memory. This memory has to be freed once these objects are no more used. So this process is called as garbage collection. There is a specialized garbage collector method which can collect this unused object, free these resources so that other processes can use them. Because of this, there are very few memory leaks. Why memory leaks will be few? Because if you are running a program, you are reserving some memory, and simultaneously you are able to free this memory which is no longer used. So in this situation, there is a balance of reserving and unreserving the memory. So there is no question of memory leak. Java does not have pointers. Well, when we talk about C++ or C, there is a concept of the pointer which actually locates the address of any variable. Java does not have a pointer. That means that we do not have any address. Since we do not have any address, there is a very less chances that we can actually corrupt the memory. If we know the address of the memory, there is a highly chance that if we accidentally reach to that memory and do some programming where it hops the memory, then there are big chances the memory will got corrupted. But in case of Java, it is not the case. We access the variables through the reference in Java indeed. When you talk about the scope of the object, here you can see how we can actually constrain. Java object does not have the same life type as primitives. When you create a Java object using new, it hangs around past the end of the scope. Here the scope of the name S is defined by curly braces S, but the string object hangs around until GCD. What exactly it is? What it is trying to say that I am writing an string S is equal to new string a string. That means that from here to here, the string variable S will live, but the memory which is being allocated to store this variable will not be freed until and unless garbage collection is not being invoked. This is a different situation than what the primitive data type is. When you write int I is equal to 5 and your scope is end, the curly braces ends, I immediately dies. The memory store, memory reserved for I is being deallocated. But in case of the string, this is not the case. Here we have a methods, arguments, and return value. You have some methods. C++ function, general case, the static keyword. The static keywords means some variable which preserve the value of a variable. For example, when you have a integer I, you write it as static. That means you are asking this integer to store the value inside it. So when I say static test I plus plus, static I plus plus, so that means that you are asking this static variable to store the value inside it. sti is equal to st2I is equal to 47. So let me tell you one thing in a listed language. Static variables are those variables which can preserve the value. So if I declare a static variable inside a class and I create two objects of the class, and in the first object I increase the value of the static variable, so by the virtue of this static keyword, in the next object the variable will get the value generated by the first object. So let me tell you, give you a little example of the how static class can be declared. I have a class which is called as a my app, and I have a class static public static void main strings args. What I do is that I will declare two variables here, and I will try to actually run those variables. What I'll do is that here I will write two variables. One is a static variable, another is a non-static variable. I'll write static int x is equal to, here I'll write, just write int y is equal to 0. After you do this, what I'll do, try to increase it somewhere. I'll try to public class my app, and I will try to see if I will create in the main, if I write a my app object, and apart from that, what I'll do is that I'll create a constructor of the my app also. That means that I'm trying to initialize this value. So I'll write my app, create a constructor. That means I can actually initialize some value here. And close the constructor. Here I will write x plus plus, here also y plus plus. That means that after this execution of the statement is done, increase the value. So every time I'll create a new object of my app class, the x should be increased and y should be increased. So since x is static, when I will increase the value, when I will make an object of it, then the value of x will be 5. Same thing will happen with the by. When I increase the value of the by, then it will increase to the 1. The story does not end here. I'm talking about making the object next object of it. When I make a new object of it, you can see the value of x is equal to 5. That became 6 because of the first object is being created, will remain same, whereas the value of the y will again go to the 0 from 1 because it is non-static. Let me prove it to you. Let's make, instead of writing system.out.println, I'll write here, I'll create the object of my app class. So I'll write my app ma is equal to new, okay, obj1 is equal to new my app. Why this obj1 is showing error? Because this value is not used. So I'll write my app obj1, variable obj is not used. No problem. Or I will write is something like that. Okay, so inside the obj1, I will also write a value of, which is called as a show, a method which is called as a show. It will show the value of the variables. Void show. And I will actually take the system.out.println value from here and put in a void show. I'll write system.out.println value of x of static variable x is, and by the same token actually I'll write another method where I will write copy this complete stuff, put it there, and value of non-static variable is y is, instead of ix I will write is plus, I'll write obj, I'll write x dot to string. I get it to string, no? Just try to check this, okay? trying to, with the help of value x and y respectively. So let's see how it goes. And here my app after this is being done, what I will do is that I'll write obj.show, obj1.show. So actually that is going to give me the value of x and y respectively. Run it please and see how it goes on. I'm just trying to not to do much on the formatting part because I just wanted to show and save the time. This space has to be removed and should become aligned. So let's see what it gives. It is building. Let it build. So the value of the static variable x is 6 and the value of the static variable is y, 1. So you can see the value has increased to 1 by 1 because at the initial we say x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 0. The value is being increased by 1 and 1. Now what happens if I create another object and I say my app obj2, same thing, same, only just one thing I will do is that I will just change from obj2 to obj1 to my app obj, instead of obj1 I will write obj2. It is showing red light because I'm trying to declare the obj1 two times. Now obj1 instead of 1 I'll just write obj2. Run this program. Now you see here what happens is that the variable x, because it's static, it will keep the data retained. So instead of x is equal to showing 6, it will go to 7, but y will remain as 1. So let's try to run this program. I'm creating two objects, object 1 and object 2. The demo, the purpose of this program is to show is that a static value variable keeps its data retained while the non-static variable does not keep the data retained. So run it and see how it goes on. You can see the value of the x is increased to 7 because it was carrying the earlier data being by the virtue of its static being static, whereas the value of y becomes 1 only and it remains 1 only. That's the concept I want to make you. So we have learned from this example that if we declare a variable as a static and we create the object of this variable, we try to access this variable with the two objects, the value given in the first object will be carried forward to the next object, whereas in case of non-static variable, this part is being not done. This is what the value of the static. Let's come back to our presentation. So here you can see the value of the static remains same. So there are some examples program. I have shown you one example program. I hope this value small demo of the Java help you to understand some of the concept. We have a lot of things in our bouquet where we have a concept of the polymorphism, we have an array, we have a different data types. I teach advanced Java also where I have a JSP, servlet. If you want to learn about the cloud where you have to deploy the AWS Java RT based solution to the cloud, which is a pre-screening interview question in most of the IT companies, I can guide you in that because I'm doing a lot of deployment of the Java and JT based solution to the clouds. Thank you for your time and thank you for